If someone mentions anime with hidden symbolism, 90% of the time you can expect them to mention Ava or Utena or some other bullshit show which shoves their shit down your ass like they're trying to make you come. But symbolism isn't restricted to deep anime. Almost every piece of media you can consume contains symbols. Nah, fuck this shit. This ain't your grandpa's anime analysis. No thank you, bitch. Fuck a script. So I'm watching this show called Tesagure Bukatsumono, and it's basically, let me just give you a little preview. So here it's like an anime that's about anime. Here you can see that they're talking about how most anime have real strict regulations in their school uniforms, and there's like a public morals council and shit, and then meanwhile there's no regulations on the character's hair. And here they are looking at some people's hair in a random room, and they're like, hold on a second, these guys look more like main characters than we do, right? And then if you were to look at the opening theme tune, if you were to do so, and you were to translate it, the theme tune, the lyrics just describe what is happening in the video. Now the camera pans up from the bottom as the camera is quickly panning up from the bottom, and then the title shows up with a first. This is what anime is. This is what anime is. Not your bullshit. None of your bullshit. Oh yeah, fucking, I don't know, The Hero Academia or some shit. Oh yeah, look at me, I'm a main character, I've started from the bottom and now I'm gonna work hard and get my way to the top. That's not it. You may as well just fucking go to the gym if you want to do that. You may as well just read a book if you want to get a story like that. When's the last time this happened? Eh? Speak to me once now. What symbolic purpose could a bath scene serve? Well, when someone's in the bath, they tend not to be wearing any clothes, so we can think about the symbolism of nakedness. Nakedness generally represents things like purity, honesty, or in this case, what are the bath scenes in Hidamari's sketch? They tend to be monologues by Yuno, where she essentially talks directly to the audience about her personal thoughts about what's going on in her day and her interactions with her friends. Every other interaction on the show is an interaction between two characters, diegetically, right? So you only see what those characters would say if they were in the presence of the other characters. However, in these bath scenes, Yuno is alone talking directly to the audience, and to represent that, they have her be in a situation where she is exposed. She is bearing all, just like she's bearing all with her words to speak about what's happened and reflect and look inwards. Hidamari's sketch is a very introspective show, and in these scenes, it's all about the introspection, and it's all about being open with the audience with no source of filter of any sort of the sort of things you'd find in a gag manga, like jokes or interactions or drama. Whereas in these scenes, it's all about shedding all of that and being honest. And part of that is also Japanese culture. Now, you probably are aware that onsens are a big deal in Japanese culture, or at least they were historically. If you don't know what that is, an onsen is a public bath, and in these public baths, it's been tradition for a very long time that you go to a public bath with your mates, you get naked, and you talk about shit, you know? It's like a social event. In the West, we have a very much a Eurocentric view of nakedness, right? It's essentially, only two places nakedness is acceptable is high art and sex, whereas in most other cultures in the world, that is not the case, but we tend to project our views like that. Now, am I saying that every single time you see fan service in anime, it's some sort of deep symbolism? Of course I'm fucking not. I'm giving this anime credit because I know it's good, and I know the director and the writers are smart. I know that because they're telling me with their directing style that they're trying to point me in the direction to look closer at this sort of shit. So when I see this, I imagine, oh, the director is putting me in a position, or putting the audience in a position like we were in an onsen, or like we're together in a social space with this character. That's why he's taken her out of the context of being with her friends so she can talk directly to us. And in those scenes, again, she's reflecting on the day. She's introspecting. And you don't get that when she's talking to other people. You get that when she's bearing it all for the audience. You get to take a look at her. You get to have an experience with her as if you're one of the friends, as if you're one of the people living in the apartment. But from a sort of fourth wall lens of being a monologue. This is what they mean. It's not just bullshit fan service. It's symbolism. The most basic symbolism. I shouldn't need to tell you this. You should be seeing this shit by yourself. You shouldn't need some idiot who doesn't even know shit. I don't know shit. What do I know? Not shit. And I'm gonna have to tell you these shits. Listen, you stupid. You stupid. You stupid. Same person who directed that other show I was just talking about, which has a name that I can't pronounce more than once in the video, so I'm not even going to attempt it, also directed another show called GD Fairies before that. And here's a look at it. I won't play it because I don't want to get taken down for any sorts of copy or rights, but you could just take a look at that texture. Just have a quick look at that texture. Have a quick look at the grass texture, and I think you will agree with me that this is probably one of, if not the greatest shows ever made. One of the best pieces of art. Look at that face. Look at that fucking face. Look at that. Look at it. Absorb it. Don't look away. You have no choice but to simply observe, simply absorb, simply become. GD Fairies is a much more childish or child-oriented show by the same director, and it also has elements of ad-libbing, which I didn't even mention about the previous show. But the thing that is actually the main appeal of this director and this guy is that he makes these 3D CG shows where most of it is scripted, or a large chunk of it is scripted, and then at some point it just switches to the voice actresses just fucking about and having a conversation, basically doing some improv comedy. And this is the sort of thing that you can really get away with 3D animation that is much harder to do with 2D animation, is that you can have them improvise and then just animate over it later. Whereas with the way it's done traditionally in anime is that they animate it and then the seiyus get in the studio and they have to try and speak in sync with the lip flaps. Have you ever wondered why Japanese animation seems like they don't give a fuck if the words line up with the lip flaps, whereas Western animation seems to really care about that? It's because they do it the other way around. In Western animation, they record the voice lines first and then they animate so that it matches. In Japan and in Korea and China, they don't really care so much about that sort of stuff, so they will animate it first and then get the voice actors later to dub over their lines, essentially over the video that's already finished. Now, it won't always be finished, but they'll at least have a storyboard. So that's why they don't match up. Whereas in this sort of CG, it's much faster to animate. You don't have to hand draw every single fucking frame. So they can record the lines first and then animate it afterwards. And so this show has a very similar thing, although a very different aesthetic and much more child-friendly approach to everything. And if you don't think that's the tightest shit, you can get the fuck out of here. A lot of people really argue about whether Lane, the message of Lane, is stupid. They're stupid. Let me tell you, fuck. Lane doesn't have a message. Trust me, as someone who's seen Lane 5 times, I've seen countless things on fucking Lane channel and shit. Is Lane pro or anti-technology? Bitch, Lane doesn't come down on either side. Lane just says, here's technology, make your mind up. It doesn't care what you think. It doesn't give a fuck. It's the ultimate in a nihilistic fucking post-human shit. Right? The whole point of Lane is that it doesn't matter what you think of technology. It's done. It's too late. It's too late to turn back. Lane's already hit Protocol 7. In the show, Protocol 7 is a literal thing that exists. In real life, Protocol 7 is more esoteric than that. It doesn't have a physical manifestation, which is, some people could say Lane is actually Lane of the Wired, at least, is a magical physical manifestation. I'm a scat man. There's this YouTuber called Superhuman, and take a look at this aesthetic. So we got the video, we got the phone video aesthetic, the vertical video aesthetic, and he'll just injure himself. and he'll just get injured and then moan on the ground for a little bit after getting thrown onto something. Now take a look at this framing, take a look at this symbolism. We've got an excellent use of what could be, you see, whether you have a full frame, like a full widescreen frame, the often thing is the rule of thirds, right? But if you have no one's really written any sort of cinema theory for what to do when you are using a vertical video, because that's not a traditional aspect ratio. So Superhuman has innovated in that respect, and he's used what could be called a rule of thirds. Here I've zoomed in so that the frame fills the entire frame. So it is actually using the rule of thirds, and it's excellently composition. But he also makes use of dividing the frame in half. You can see we have this pillar in the middle, which divides the frame in half, and that goes all the way through. And then he's lined up this and this sort of umbrella type thing to split the frame into thirds on this side and thirds on this side where this sort of bush ends. And that way you get an extra dimension, because not only is he using a rule of thirds and using this perspective, but also he's using two-way symmetry, which is very clever, because when you have a frame that's small, the rule of thirds might be, it could feel like you're cramming too much into a small space. So he's very clever utilizing the two-way symmetry, the basically splitting the screen in half using this sort of line here, and this tree sort of plays into it. So he's set up this very clever framing device where there's this imaginary line that splits the frame into two, and you can see if I scroll back in the video right now, he actually physically travels from one side of the frame. Right, he's first on this side, and then he gets thrown onto the other side, and it shows his development where he's moving from one side to the other. He's moving from one state to another state as he develops as a character. So even in this 30-second long video, he's managed to express character development purely through cinematography, purely through framing. And if that doesn't tell you something about how much of a genius this man is, then I don't know who you are or what you're doing, but you need to change. You need to do something about it, because something's gone terribly wrong there in your life. Now, Superhuman Stew is a very interesting person. I know I keep calling him Superhuman Stew. He's just superhuman. And the reason is because all his videos include him just being injured. Hey, look, it's me in the reflection of my screen. Would you take a look at that? Once again, recorded in this vertical camera angle, and you can see again he's got this line going through the middle of the frame, dividing the frame into two, and once again he will travel through that line as he develops as a character. So we've got his friend here in the luchador mask type shit. He runs into him, knocks him through the frame, and as you can see, now he's past that imaginary line, he's gone through, he's developed as a character, and now he's gone from expectation of him getting thrown through this fence into the conclusion where he actually has been thrown through the fence and he's in pain, right? And that's what makes his videos so visceral. That's what gives them the feeling like you're truly there, because he's such a genius director, and that's what people don't understand. Here we see Joe Rogan ripping him off in his thumbnail by doing a split screen with Bernie Sanders. Now, Joe Rogan is a funny type of fellow, because he's actually some sort of inflatable ball or watermelon that at some point developed consciousness, probably through DMT, and he now has a YouTube channel, which is very interesting, because you wouldn't think that a watermelon would be able to have a successful YouTube channel, but Joe Rogan's just out there proving us wrong once again, because here he is with Bernie Sanders, and I guess that just goes to show that you should never give up on your dreams. Why is Hidamari sketch set in an art school? Why not just have it set in any regular school? Why specifically an art school? What is the show about that would mandate it be set in an art school? I'll tell you. The main theme. Of course I'm going to tell you. What do you think this video is? I'm just going to ask the question and leave it at that. Of course I'm going to tell you. Hidamari sketch's main theme. What it's trying to pump into your head, what it's trying to get at you, what it's trying to show you, what it's trying to get in front of your eyeballs is to show you life as art. Why is Hidamari sketch the most iyashike of all the slice of lives? If you get my drift, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, if you're catching my wave. Why? Because it's demonstrating how all the characters live as art. They take extra care with every activity they do. It's trying to promote a philosophy of mindfulness. It's very Buddhist in that respect. The characters wake up and they don't just fucking go to class like most other anime. I'm late, let me put a fucking toast in my mouth and run to class. No, the characters get up and they go outside and they do that radio calisthenics stuff, right? Because they're mindful. They're being mindful of the fact that they have become awake, and they're being mindful of the fact that they inhabit a body, and they decide to do what their exercises so that they can stay within that body, you know? They can not enhance, that was a completely unrelated word. They can experience themselves being in a body. This is why. It's set in an art school because it's showing the characters experiencing life as art and trying to get you to experience by showing you their life as art. Obviously, very aware of the fact that it is a piece of art, a piece of media, right? It's trying to get you to think of yourself that way, trying to get you to experience your own life from a sort of artistic standpoint, trying to get you to look inwards as you're exploding outwards. Right? When Yuno's in those baths, there's a reason for it, right? There's a reason that they take so much time in the show showing them cooking. Because cooking is an art form that every single person has to do, no matter what. Every single person in the world eats food. They have to, or they would die. I hope you know that, otherwise things are going to be bad for you. But you have to eat food or you die. And because this is something that everyone has to do every day, it's a way of everyone putting a piece of themselves, a piece of their personality out there into the world. And so of course the show spends a lot of time demonstrating preparation of food. You know, there's an episode, they grow tomatoes in the garden of the Hidamari apartments. They spend a lot of time focusing on food, eating food, talking around the dinner table, preparing food, right? All that sort of shit. And it's another reason why Hidamari's sketch is not just set in a school, but mostly in the apartments outside of school hours, because what do you wear in school? A uniform. What do you wear when you're not in school? Well, not the same thing every day, right? Another thing, fashion is a way that people express themselves every day without even thinking about it. It's an artistic, creative expression of yourself, your being, your personality, which everyone puts some thought into the way they dress, right? Even if the thought is, I'm not going to think about how I dress. That is a way of thinking. The way you dress expresses who you are. That's why there's extra care taken in the characters' outfits to show that they too are mindful of this sort of thing. They appreciate, they understand, they are mindful, they're aware of the fact that their lives are art, and they're experiencing their interactions, and other people are experiencing them, and they're experiencing others, all as a simultaneous, homogeneous, holistic art piece, right? There's an episode in season 3, I think, where the seniors are graduating, or whatever they're called, the senpais are graduating, and they're graduating, and as part of their last project, that the people they can optionally choose to make their own art piece and put it anywhere around the school, right? And they make a big deal out of this episode, and them going around looking and noticing all these people's artworks that have been dotted around the school. It's not part of an assignment, it's just a way to express your final artistic expression before you go off to university. And all the characters and and stuff, they were walking around the halls looking for all these art pieces. And then there's a scene where they walk down the hallway and they can't tell what's an art piece and what's not, you know? They're looking at fire extinguishers and being like, is this an art piece? Right? And it's played for comedy, but also it is a point of the show that any normal thing could be interpreted as artistic, and that's fine, because people made that sort of thing. People put some of themselves in it, whether they wanted to or not, and thus it contains some creativity, and it can be interpreted as art legitimately, not just for a gag, but from a philosophical standpoint. And you can apply that to yourself, and you can live as art. You can live mindfully. You can live consciously and with purpose, right? And therefore your entire life becomes a work of art when you approach it in that way. I mean, whether you want it to or not, everything you do expresses a part of your inner unique self, right? And thus life is art. And that is the message of Hidamari's sketch. That is what the show is trying to get to you. And if you don't realize that, then I hope this has been helpful, because I would highly recommend going back and watching that show and seeing it, trying to interpret it as something deeper. A lot of people talk about K-On! In this sense, that when they first watched K-On!, they just saw it as like any typical seasonal show or whatever, and it was only on the last few episodes that they realized, like, oh, this show's been actually telling me stuff this whole time. Hidamari sketch is the same, but in my opinion, even more so, that it's actually every single second of the show is if you come at it like you're watching some sort of show that you would expect to have deep messaging or whatever. You know, people have spent so long analyzing the symbolism in like Evangelion, right? Like, oh, what does the Christian symbolism mean? Hidamari sketch has constant symbolism. Why is the technology real pictures? Why is the food sometimes real pictures? What have you thought about that? Some people think like, oh, that's just a Shaft thing that they sometimes do, but what if it's not? What if there's some symbolism behind it? I have my own theories about it, but I'm not going to put them here because I want you to come up with your own shit. I don't want myself to influence you in any way. So, I implore you, go and watch that show. Go and take a look, even if you just start from the second season when the animation quality improves drastically. I would highly recommend it, unless it's your first time watching the show, in which case you should probably watch from the beginning. But if you're rewatching it, just try and pay attention to all these little details, because it's trying to tell you something. It's directed that way for a reason. Everything is posed that way for a reason. It's not just shitting out bullshit, slice of life shit. It's Shaft, right? It's Shimbo. He doesn't do that. Everything he does has a reason, has a method to it. Even the original manga has a method to it, and that's what I think more people should really appreciate.